Hi there, Nora Wilson from Gold Star Work here. Welcome to day 18 of building our daily art habit. Now somewhere along the line I ended up calling it building a daily painting habit, but we're going back to building a daily art habit because that's what I had decided to call it. Now today I'm going to go back to basics and I'm going to be concentrating on creating a form and painting shadows and highlights and the colours that they would be. And so today I am painting a still life of some apples. I have an idea in my head of a painting that I want to do for my kitchen, or a series of paintings I want to do for my kitchen of some fruit or vegetables to put on my wall. And this is going to be a study in preparation for that painting. And I'm going to be using a bit of help from a tutorial here, and I'm going to be using Will Kemp Art School and his tutorial on painting an apple, because I really liked the way he made it into a painterly kind of look. It wasn't all smooth and shiny. You could see his brush strokes and things, and that's what I want to do. And I like the colours that he used. So that's what I'm going to do today. So hope you get your paints out too and get painting. So let's get going. So I've set up a little still life of what I want to paint this morning. As you can see, you don't need anything fancy to be able to set up a still life. And it's recommended that if you're doing a still life and you want a certain colour background, to actually use that colour background. So I'm just using a dress and my cardigan because I wanted a grey coloured background on my apples. And I've just used my lamp lying on its side there. And the pad here is just reflecting a bit of the light down, and I took some photos of it to get what angle that I decided that I wanted. So I'm going to be painting it somewhere around this angle, and I'm going to be having my focus of interest of the light shining here. Now, as I said, I'm going to be using Will Kemp's Art School tutorial on how to paint these apples, because I really like the way he did it, and I am doing this as a study. He only did one apple, and his apple is yellow with a tiny bit of red, and I'm going to be doing more red apples, but I'm still going to follow his tutorial to see if I can get the results that I wanted. So I'm doing the ground the same way. I'm using my yellow ochre and my cadmium yellow light, and I'm putting that in around my apples in the background. I'm going to be putting it on the apples too, but I've spent quite a lot of time drawing that apple shape in, so I don't want to just cover up all that drawing. Now, because I've set up a still life and I have spent a bit of time drawing, I'm not going to have as much time to paint today because it's already 11:30 now in the morning. And usually I am an hour into my painting by now, but because of setting it up first, it's taken me longer to get to the actual painting part. So I won't get this finished today. Just put a little bit of water on my brush, and I'm going over my apples now so I can still see the pencil lines through my apple. And I'm going to be really thinking about the colours of my shadows and the colours of my highlights, because as I've spoken before about warm shadows and cool highlights and not really having a handle on what that's all about, and I just felt I wanted to go back to basics to try and get my head around it a bit. And I'm sort of not completely convinced on the concept, because I keep getting conflicting information from different things, from different people. So I just wanted to do some observing of my own and try out my own picture. So I'm just using my raw umber and some white, and I'm blocking in some of the variations in the background, because I'm using a fabric, it's all different kind of colours, different folds, it's not just a flat background. So I'm looking at where the light and the shadow are hitting. Okay, so now I have mixed some of my ultramarine blue in with my raw umber and my white to make a nice grey. And that way I can play with my grey. I can make it more blue, or I can make it warmer with more of the brown. My background's a bit more complicated than what Will Kemp has done, because I've got that fabric and the folds in the background. But I don't want to spend too much time on the background, because I really wanted to be more concentrating on the apples. But it is an interesting exercise to try and suggest what's going on back there. And I don't want lots of hard edges back there, because I don't want your eye focusing back there, so I'm softening my edges. Yeah, I'm just kind of simplifying some of the folds and things because I don't want to make it too complicated. And I'm only wanting to do like a suggestion of something going on there. I don't want to make it into a feature. Mixed up a really dark mixture of the blue and the raw umber, ultramarine blue and the raw umber, and I'm starting to look at where the shadows for my apples are going. And my shadows are going towards the back of the apple because I've got the light shining from the front, so that my light's coming in kind of this way. And it doesn't have, my apple shadows are not having hard edges because the fabric's kind of diffusing the edge. Start doing some of the shadow on the apple. Colour I was using with a bit of burnt sienna. So at the moment I'm using the same colours as what William Kemp was using, and I'm just playing with my tones, and I'm kind of doing a tonal study just at the moment. I will add more colour in after. But I'm just getting an idea of how to shape my apple. And one little trick, if you do wear glasses, when you're looking at what you're trying to paint, if you're short-sighted like I am, so things in the distance get a bit blurry without your glasses, take your glasses off, because you'll see the tones and the shapes rather than the details, and that'll actually help you with your painting. So being short-sighted isn't that bad for painting. And that's what actually I have done now, is I've taken my glasses off so I can see my still life without zoning in on details. I can just look at it in terms of light and shadow. So you've got to try and look at things the way they actually are and not the way you think they should be. So when I look at the colour of my apples, this one here has a big light area right in here. But if I did that really light the way my brain tells me to, then these areas aren't going to be bright enough to be my centre of interest. So I have to ignore what my brain tells me and actually do what is actually there. And that's why these tonal exercises can be really useful, because it can get your eye and your brain kind of working together better. So instead of your brain telling your eye what it's supposed to be seeing, you can actually put down what is really there. I've roughed in those apples now. I'm going to leave it for now because it's nearly 1 o'clock and I need to go and have my lunch and do some other things today. So I'll do some more on this tomorrow and hopefully the apples will survive alright sitting up here. I think you can see how I've got the form going, and there's some nice movement going on in the background and things. And so I'm fairly happy with how that's going. There's something weird going on with the stalk. I can't quite get the angle right. So the tones of the apples seem to be coming along quite well. I've got the shape of the apples coming in. They're starting to look like they're nice and round. There's still quite a lot of work to do on there, obviously, because that's just the tonal sort of underground of it. But I think I've done quite well today, and I am going to stop there. So I hope you got your paints out too, and happy painting everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!